Today, as I mentioned, is the Feast of St. John Lateran, and the Basilica of St. John Lateran is a very impressive one. The facade of that, absolutely inspiring as you walk up to it in the city of Rome. It is the cathedral church of our Holy Father, and so even though we think many times of St. Peter's Basilica as the main church, St. John Lateran is the cathedral church. And just like our own cathedral in the Diocese of Youngstown, we don't find our Holy Father Francis there, but we do find Bishop Murray. And Bishop Murray celebrates and presides over the Church of Youngstown. In Rome, the Church of St. John Lateran is, as I mentioned, more important than St. Peter's in its history and its position as a cathedral of the Pope. In fact, St. John Lateran is called the mother of the Church of Rome and the world. And so when you go to visit that particular church, and you see the Basilica, and you compare it with St. Peter's Basilica, there are two different entities. In 313, if we go way back in history, long time, even before I was born, in 313, the Emperor Constantine presented the present property where the Basilica is built to the church in Rome, and asked that it be a center of worship and prayer. The Basilica itself was dedicated to two people. One to St. John the Evangelist, and the other to St. John the Baptist. The baptistry itself was dedicated, and if you see the baptistry from the outside, it's just a plain brick building. They're not impressive at all. But when you walk inside, it's absolutely magnificent. But it stresses the need and the entrance of the people to the church through baptism. And before they enter into the main basilica, they are baptized outside of the main church, and then they proceed to enter into the body of Christ. The symbolism, very significant in its meaning. The cathedral of our present Pope, Pope Francis, the Bishop of Rome, which is his primary title, is absolutely magnificent, as you can see. And the pictures of the high altar or the paintings, and here this picture, if you look, you can see the size of the people, and you can see those statues. And those statues are bigger than I am. And they're just absolutely magnificent. As you look at this cathedral, one of the popes, Innocent, was, during the time of St. Francis of Assisi, the Bishop of Rome. And St. Francis of Assisi, as you know, wanted to start a religious order. And he had been writing the cardinals, and he had been communicating with the cardinals, and no one would listen to him. And so Pope Innocent, in a dream, saw St. Francis, saw a beggar in beggar's clothing. And this beggar was holding in his hands an image of St. John Lateran. And in that dream, he was told, not only does the church need repaired physically, but the church needs renewed spiritually, and it needs rebuilt. And from that point on, Pope Innocent recognized the Franciscans and invited them all to join. Now, if you go to St. John Lateran's in Rome, you can walk over and you can see this exact statue. And if you stand behind the statue and you look up, you will see the hands of St. Francis, and in between those hands, you can see St. John Lateran embraced in his hands. Absolutely beautiful and magnificent. And there again, very symbolic of the care that the church needs in rebuilding, in repairing, and renewing itself each and every day. We will talk, and we know that in the reading from St. Paul said, "We are the living stones of the temple of God. We are the ones who are to build up the body of Christ." Each of us is significant in the body of Christ, in building up the temple of the Spirit with Christ as the cornerstone. There is no church without Christ as that cornerstone and as the foundation, the one who guides us and directs us, both horizontally and vertically. And so then we're called as a community of faith here at Our Lady of Peace, St. Paul's, Christ the Servant community. We're called here to embrace the church in our own life. We are called to rebuild it. We are called to renew it. And we are called to repair what needs to be repaired in the spiritual life and of our people. And just like the cathedral in Rome, just like the cathedral in Youngstown, just like our own community here, we are called to be a missionary church. And we are called to reach out to those who are poor. St. Columba in Youngstown was dedicated to the poor, a missionary who went to Scotland from Ireland to convert. He had a specific mission to do. The Church of Rome, as a church of all over the world, has a specific mission to everyone in the world. And our present Pope Francis holds the church in his hands, waiting for us to renew, repair, and to rebuild. And so today I'd like you to imagine, just even if you raise your own hands, you raise your own hands and you uphold the cross of Christ in between those hands. It reminds you can do that. You can just lift up your hands and focus yourself around that cross and around that altar. And recognize that you are called to rebuild, to repair, and to renew the Church of Christ. And we do that today as a community of people, and we do that by recognizing one of the living stones that will be baptized today.